So, the drinker is getting attacked again. Oh boy, let's check this out here. Make sure you get on over to Endymion. Tell him Tyrone Magnus sent you. He's one of us, you know? He just wants great entertainment again.
Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey is almost here, and I can already tell it's going to set off 1 billion atom bombs when it drops when it comes to the online discourse surrounding movies. Like Supergirl, which I'll get into later on, the problem is firmly being laid not on Hollywood, but instead YouTubers. The critical drinker, nerdrotic, anyone who really speaks out against these mega entertainment media products, it's not the movie's fault, it's ours actually. At least that's how the media is spinning it, as Wired here says. The Odyssey is sparking right-wing backlash. Oh, is that what we're calling it now? Coincidentally, these sorts of articles started appearing once people like the critical drinker spoke about the movie as well. Drinker actually dropped a video recently, as seen here, where he spoke about the Odyssey and the problems that people have with the movie's entire concept. Of course, this did not go over well whatsoever with a lot of people on Twitter or even the media. Because to speak out against the Odyssey or really anything Hollywood is pushing these days is akin to sacrilege for them. But again, like this user here who retweeted someone telling the drinker to F off, saying all anyone is focusing on is Elliot Page being in the Odyssey. And therefore, this means that all backlash is unwarranted. Cool. I like how we can just sweep all this neatly and tidy like into a
I was going to say, people are focusing on a lot more than that.
pile as if it's nothing apparently. Here's another user saying the Odyssey might have...
Speaking of Zendaya, I just found out I got a neighbor that looks like Zendaya. I was leaving the house, and she was going to her mailbox, and I was like, "Oh my God!" she did something. I think she was white, and Zendaya's black and white, correct? I think. But anyway, she's going to her mailbox, and she did this whole thing where her hair was in her way, and when she did that, that's when I saw her face, the eyes, the eyebrow, everything, the cheekbones. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was checking her out, or I don't know, but I was just like, yo, she looks like Zendaya. Okay. No, Zendaya, you have a twin out there.
issues, but none of it will have to do with Elliot Page. Therefore, the drinker is now wrong. Thank you, random Twitter user with a rainbow in your username. Very cool. Or how about this post attacking drinker saying chuds like him are going to milk the Odyssey with bait while the movie does well in theaters. So now we're calling anyone we don't like chuds. Is that how this now works?
Of course.
Look, nobody is denying that the Odyssey is going to do well in theaters. It's a Christopher Nolan movie with a...
I don't know if it will. Some people think it is. Some people think it won't. Some people think, like myself, there's a possibility that it might seriously have an issue because of so much of the word getting out before the movie's release. I'm trying to think, was there a movie? Well, yeah, there was a movie, excuse me, that they modern audience up, and it was one of the first ones they started where people noticed, and that was with Captain Marvel. And the word is that it made $1 billion. However, the word is also in Hollywood that no, it didn't. And that Disney actually bought out the empty theaters. They had so much money at that time to cover themselves that they bought out all those empty theaters to make it look like it made $1 billion. So technically it did because they bought their own tickets. You get what I'm saying? I spoke to someone out in Hollywood. If you knew who it was, you would know that they know the business. And they were like, yeah, studios do that all the time. So while there's no concrete evidence on it, after speaking to that person and the whole debacle with Rotten Tomatoes and the empty theaters and just everything, nowadays people have their antenna up and they're like, okay, they've been programmed to know what all of this type of entertainment looks like. And this it's funny because it's a mythological movie and it's a mythological modern audience. You just never see. They never show up to, do anything for these movies. So, yeah, it could be a hit because this would be his first DEI modern audience woked up movie. And the popularity armor will only protect you for so long. Talk to Disney about Star Wars. Talk to Disney about Marvel, talk to the DCU, talk to Star Wars, just everything, man. Just everything. Talk to these games that aren't doing the numbers that they used to. Talk to Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed, Shadows. Talk to them all about this stuff. They're not doing the numbers anymore. Collectively losing millions, possibly billions. Talk to Target. Talk to all these companies that have been doing this stuff that have been pissing people off. And that's why a lot of companies have already abandoned it. But these people are in the machine. They have to keep, doing what they're told. So I don't know. We'll see. But if the word gets out enough, this movie's in trouble.
Star-studded AAA cast. The likelihood it doesn't do well at the box office was never actually the issue here. I've even said in previous videos about this movie that it would still make a ton of money because it is Christopher Nolan. I get that. That's not the point. Then again, money made by a movie doesn't exactly equal to that movie suddenly being good, and we all know that.
No.
The Ant-Man movies made hundreds of millions of dollars. Doesn't mean they're...
Now, I like the first one. The first one was real good. Okay? I would call that a good movie. I bought it in Blu-ray on 3D. The second one, it's all right. It's all right. And the third one was a big old piece of trash. And then we can go back to the Transformers movies. To me, the first one was good. The third one was good. The second one is a guilty pleasure for me because, I'm a big Optimus Prime fan. And he got beat up at the end by Megatron in the first one. I did not like that because it wasn't like that in the G1 cartoons. Now, they made him a savage. They actually overcorrected and made him a savage in the rest of the movies. Like he was more of a killer in the rest of those movies than he ever was in the G1 cartoons. But they made him so badass in The Fallen that I ended up liking the movie. The fourth one was terrible and the fifth one was terrible. And they all made money. So,
exactly amazing pieces of cinema. Somehow there's multiple Jumanji movies starring The Rock and Kevin Hart. Doesn't mean they're great movies.
I like the first one. I bought that one in 3D too. I like the first one. And I like the second one. If there's a third one, I haven't seen it. I don't even remember. Maybe they're making a third one. But I like the first one more than the second one. I like the first one a lot more than the second one because,
But does it even matter? Not really. They still make hundreds of millions of dollars. Quality was never really the issue here because clearly when it comes to movies, sometimes all it takes is instinct.
And I didn't see the one with Robin Williams. I've only seen parts. One of my favorite parts of those was the part with David Alan Grier. When the tree roots or whatever come out and grab the car. That is hilarious. The sound he makes. That was hilarious.
Here and Money Machine go boom pretty much. The problem has always been about authenticity, but they'll say the Odyssey is an anthology. It's not real. How beautifully specific something like that can be when it's suddenly...
Isn't that so stupid that they do that? Then okay, make a Ninja Turtles movie, but it's no longer Ninja Turtles, it's Ninja Geckos. Okay, if it don't matter, because it's all fantasy, just change them to geckos and see what happens. I bet you don't make as much money. I bet you!
Doesn't apply to your way of thinking. The reason why users are attacking Drinker, well, it's because people like this speak for the common man. Well, these types, especially these websites, do not, and they know that.
And he speaks for the common man, and he has a ton of reach. He's probably the number 1 movie reviewer on YouTube right now. And it used to be, Jeremy Johns and Stuckman jockeying for position. You know what I'm saying? But he popped out of nowhere at the right time, telling the truth. And hey, people caught on. People are like, yo, like this dude, because he sees what the hell's going on. And Jeremy Johns is, quote unquote, I like him. He's one of my favorite. But he's nicer. He doesn't rock the boat. And I don't want him to rock the boat if he doesn't want to rock the boat. You know what I'm saying? There's different type of YouTubers out there. Same thing with Stuckman. Stuckman kind of came out and kind of let you know he really wasn't going to be really critical of movies anymore. Because now he's a movie maker And then he would be basically bashing some of the people that he's going to be working with, or would have maybe making decisions on him getting funding or working with people or actors or anything. So he had to get kind of he had to get political with that and kind of, straddle that line, so it is what it is. But Drinker came out, no, he don't care. A lot of us are like that. But he came at the right time, boy. And listen, I remember when I first found him, I started watching one. I don't know what review it was. And I was like, yo, this whole drunk voice that he's doing is hilarious. So he's drunk the whole time, but he's making sense. That was like the whole kind of joke for me. I'm like, yo, this dude's drunk movie reviewer, but he's making all the sense in the world. This is so funny, man. It kind of reminds me of it now that I think of it. Mr. Plinkett. Like Mr. Plinkett was just fat, degenerate, crazy, but he made sense about everything that he said. It's like a character that's so effed up, but he made sense in everything that he was talking about. That's what I liked about him. And look at him. Now he's, like I said, I think he's number one. So he's got a lot of reach. And if you have a lot of reach that can affect their bottom line, then you're going to get attacked. That's just how it is.
Originally, the websites were at least supposed to be the great equalizers here, meant to critique the institutions that make things in order to ensure said things that do get made stay on the right path in line with what those audiences want. Unfortunately, those websites have now become indistinguishable from the very Hollywood that they were made to critique. They are nothing more than mouthpieces now. They're just meant to parrot and protect the monolith instead of actually keeping it honest. This is why your YouTubers exist. Because someone has to be the vanguard that stands between the stupidity, and for me, Drinker especially, is that vanguard when it comes to something like pop culture. He's a big reason why I even have a YouTube channel in the first place. He's definitely influenced how I made my content since day one. So seeing these types attack him,
I remember, and listen, Endymion, when I saw your first video, first videos or two, I was like, this dude's gonna be big one day. Watch. I was like, I could just tell. I started watching it over the months and months. I was like, I effing knew it. Because he's telling the truth. And people seek that out now. They like people that tell the truth and are apologetic about the garbage that's going out there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. He speaks for people he's bad. Oh, really? That's what we're doing now. As Wired said here in their word salad that's on screen, Lupita Nyong'o is getting unceremoniously bashed with criticism from the evil YouTubers and content creators on Twitter. Because something the Odyssey should represent everyone equally apparently. But like Drinker said in his video, all those types are hating on, he brings up the fact that conveniently, this level of backpedaling and protection only happens when stories that originated from white European countries are suddenly transformed into these modern-day slot machines instead. We never see stories from Africa, or really any other part of the world, getting the modern audience diversity quota chain splashed all over them. It is only ever the European ones, because it's by design. Like, for example, when it came to British royalty such as Anne Boleyn, all I have to do is flash this photo here on screen with various versions of Anne Boleyn's story that has been told already, and you can immediately tell which one of these depictions was done by Netflix.
I did not know that they did that. They didn't do that. Tell me they did not do that.
Gee, I wonder which one it is.
Wow.
Oh, right. It's this Anne Boleyn here, where it's an actress who looks about as much like Anne Boleyn that I look like Lupita Nyong'o.
I didn't think that they were going to start doing this. Like, fully changing people. Wait a minute. Did Anne Boleyn, because I'm not very familiar with Anne Boleyn. Let me make sure. Did Anne Boleyn exist? Okay. I'm not familiar with all of her history.
Married to King Henry VIII. Her marriage and later execution led to the English Reformation.
I wanted to make sure because from what I understand, there's been certain historical fiction like the Odyssey and stuff like that, where they talk about things that did exist, but then they merge it with, mythology or fiction or whatever, where, it'd be something like, Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. That's historical fiction. It's like, it's clearly fiction based on a historical figure. And if you was to make him a black dude, it's like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? But then I was also hearing that they changed something about some people that went around the world in a hot air balloon or something like that, but they changed the sex. So it was apparently it was two men or something, but they changed one of them to a woman. It's like, how that? Whoa! Yo, if I mean, I don't know if they're alive or not, but I would be. They're probably not. I would be pissed off. Yeah, I mean, like, what? If the family, like, what? I guess they're gonna do a Martin Luther King thing one day, and he's gonna be a woman. You know what I'm saying? Martha Luther King. It's going to determine to it. This is ridiculous.
Myself. You see, this sort of nonsense is everywhere. And again, it's only ever in one direction, and we know it. For example, as seen here, you have Himesh Patel. He's an Indian actor. He's also playing the right-hand man to Matt Damon's Odysseus in the movie.
Matt Damon.
That makes sense. No, it's fine. There's absolutely been Greek people named Himesh Patel, guys. Come on, what are you doing? You're being problematic? What, you wanted proper, authentic portrayals in a movie written by white people? What are you, crazy? You sound like Elon Musk now. And we have to not like Elon because, well, that's what the media tells us to do because, well, we don't know what.
That's the best shot in the whole movie.
Why, exactly. But we need to be outraged because that's what the media wants us to be. We both know if Hollywood took an Indian story in mythology and made it into a big movie, that cast would 100% be Indian actors only. The same if Hollywood made a story about African mythology. They would assemble every prominent black actor like they were the Black Avengers to star in that movie if it got made too. But the Odyssey is Greek and Greece is in the Mediterranean, so we can bend the rules a bit because white culture doesn't exist anyways, right guys? And if you disagree, we're gonna throw you in the gulag until you do agree. Again, why is Lupita playing Helen of Troy? That's like casting Matt Damon as Martin Luther King. It's history, geographical location should matter when it comes to who plays who, because if they don't, then nothing matters. It's all then just nonsense. The Odyssey, as a movie, for me anyways, feels like it's something that would be fine if it was a high school play with a bunch of theater kids that had to do it to get a passing grade with this kind of casting. But when you have hundreds of millions of dollars behind you and literally anyone you could get...
Yeah, that's one of the worst arguments when they use that whole, it's fiction, why does it matter? Then you just change any story and then you change it so much it's not the story anymore. Doesn't even make sense, you know?
Yeah, for this movie, there's just no excuse. This movie...
Like, no matter how great of actors they are, and God rest their souls, but, someone like John Candy, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not Superman. You can't cast him as Superman. You could. Things are going to go very wrong for you. He's not Superman. Chris Farley, it's funny as he was. No, you can't cast him as Superman. All right? It's not going to work. Doesn't matter if it's fiction. It's not the character. Even certain fictional characters have certain, parameters you have to kind of stick in for it to be them. It's just, they take so many characteristics and twist them.
Is about as Greek as I am a woman, which is, well, not at all, because last time I checked, I don't have the facilities to be a woman, so it checks out. But maybe I'm just being a grifter, as they say, right? After all, how dare I want authenticity and respect in the year of our Lord 2026? At the very least, they could have hired white-skinned actors to play the characters. Yeah, we know Brad Pitt in Troy isn't Greek either. But he looks more Greek than Himesh Patel of all people, at least. There was a small bit of effort there being done to at least somewhat be realistic with Troy, I guess. But then there's Elliot Page. Oh boy. So Drinker probably got...
Yeah, Elliot Page is getting a lot of attention.
Thumbnail. But I mean, come on, man. Elliot is apparently playing a soldier named Senon, which isn't even in the Odyssey. So it's an original female character. Great! As if the Odyssey needed more characters than it already has. Although, honestly, if Elliot Page did play Achilles, that at least would have been hilarious. I might have unironically seen the movie in theaters if Elliot did end up playing that role. Because I would just be laughing so hard. I would have to be escorted out of the building. But I think trying to label anyone who criticizes something as lumping them into another category is very short-sighted in my opinion. It is not racist nor problematic to look at the Odyssey and go, hey, you know what? Something stinks here. It's the same way if a Japanese story was told, I would not want any white people in it either, because I think it's very important to respect the cultures of everyone and ensure there is true representation for them. So it is wild to me that because someone like a drinker or the thousands of viewers out here, or even me, are just saying, hey, can we get some respect for the Greek people out here? But it's...
Yeah, no matter what culture it is, no matter what race it is, just do it accurately. And people won't be complaining. Like, that's it. It's funny that they can't ask for that much respect. To just do it properly. Represent each culture and race properly. That's it. They can't ask for that, or they're bad people. They're every istophobe in the book. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's just being seen as problematic, and that tells you a lot, that Hollywood and the people in charge, they don't care about mutual respect. It's in fact something that they look down on, which I think is kind of sad to see, honestly. As seen here, the dislike ratio on the Odyssey's trailer is monolithic at this point, that's putting it lightly, okay? It's at an 86 dislike ratio to likes. That's not good. They're going to say that the trolls are doing this, but I don't think so. I think people are...
I hear it's in the 400,000 now.
Sick of not being treated with basic levels of respect. And I feel for the Greek users out here because you guys deserve far better than you're getting from Hollywood these days. I mean, the Greeks have given so much to the world that we benefit from even to like right now. Their forward-thinking accomplishments with math, science, philosophy, or architecture, just to name a few of the wonders Greeks have given the world, cannot be understated. We as a world would not be where we are today operating at the level we can without the fundamental building blocks and ideas that the Greek people and their history gave to our world. That is just a fact. You can't even deny that. So to treat them like they don't matter in stories from their own country while benefiting from the things they gave us all to better the world just feels wrong to me.
I forgot I gotta check it on my browser because I got the attachment that shows the dislikes.
There's no other way. A bit of respect, as they say, goes a long way. I know there's people online who will say, I'm some right-wing grifter for saying these things. But to me, that just shows they don't really watch my content. All I've ever done is stand up for others, even if it meant me getting backlash online too. Because I know that it's important to do so. The Greek people are not some throwaway group. We should have immeasurable respect and gratitude for what they've done. But when I look at the Odyssey, all I see is Hollywood laid bare for what it is. A solid, ill-mannered pile of miserable nonsense, okay? Masquerading its relevance behind convenient ideological shields that are made only to protect their moronic and deplorable misuse of stories they had no hand in writing themselves.
Remind me of the basketball chick point
someone
like that.
Drinker for his video about the Odyssey, it feels ill-mannered because nowhere even in his video that these users were responding to was Drinker even a little condescending towards any one group. He even says in his video at one point that he has absolutely no problem with Elliot Page's new name nor status, and he wishes only for Elliot to live a life that they're proud of. How exactly could someone who's a right-wing grifter apparently be someone who thinks and believes that all people have a right to exist? This is what I'm talking about. If you listen to just the media out here, you would think that every YouTuber is just wearing the SS uniform 24/7, yelling some sort of rhetoric online. But they're really not. I think the reality is the Hollywood machine conveniently uses the label of right-wing grifter because that is how they can easily personify and encapsulate anyone they can't rightfully debate in good faith without losing the plot themselves.
Yeah, it's dismissive. It's dismissive. I say it's a label. It's a broad, paintbrush of, just dismissiveness. Once you call them that, then it's like, then people that they already formed the opinion. They have an image in their head that they're going to associate it with. And so that they use it to discredit the people.
So it's easier to just say they are this thing that we don't like. And immediately the drones who are indoctrinated to the modern zeitgeist,
the sheep,
hear those words, and then like the Winter Soldier in Civil War,
Yep.
they get activated by hearing the words said out loud.
Yep.
Oh, we don't hate the critical drinker or the YouTubers. You should. They're right-wing grifters. Oh, okay, yeah, we hate these guys.
Yep.
Because you said the word, we were told to
Yep.
lash out at immediately,
Yep.
no matter the specifics or the
Yep.
nuance in which it's being used. Great job, Hollywood. You successfully created entire demographics of people who just can't think for themselves. I mean, when it comes to keeping yourself funded and butts in seats, I guess that's one way of doing it. But for a Hollywood that complains that people don't have the attention spans of before or the ability to see movies in a more constructive sense, they sure are doing their best to make everything less than what it used to be. Like, even go on Twitter and look up any opinion on the movie Obsession right now. You'll swear that movie is like the first film that a lot of film Twitter had to actually engage with on a mental level for the first time in their lives based on their takes. But attacking YouTubers does nothing. We aren't the ones making the decisions here. But thanks to social media, people can point out
What was she doing to him? Was she carving a symbol in his head, or was she putting the knife through his head? What was she doing?
Things look like this post here, for example, where we can see the oversized, definitely not fitted costume design of the Odyssey and how ridiculous it looks the further
yeah,
that
I
you
heard they were
stare at
making
it.
fun of
I
the
already know
helmet.
someone like Metatron is going to look at that helmet design and lose his mind for all the right reasons. Because how did that helmet make it past the production line? But it doesn't matter, does it? It's a movie. It's not real. There's a Cyclops in the story, so who cares? Yes. Let's keep that same energy for the next modern audience slop fest coming out of Hollywood. Surely, the more that we just, lay on our backs and let Hollywood have their way, the better future content from those studios will be, right? During that Wired article where they say the backlash is right-leaning, they also interviewed Emily Wilson, who, if you don't know, is one of the translators of the Odyssey. Well, one of the versions.
Yes.
Emily Wilson.
All right, I wanted to find out what was up with their saying about the drinker. We're on to Emily Wilson. Watched a few videos on her. Alrighty. Make sure you go on over and subscribe to endymiontv. If you enjoyed my thoughts and reaction on this, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share. And I will see you all in the next video. 10 million subscribers.